Hello and welcome to Tonalist Paintings by M. Francis McCarthy. This is your painter in residence, M. Francis McCarthy. And the painting we are doing today is called Sunset Trees, and it is an 8 by 8. This is not a recent painting of mine. I painted this back in, I'm thinking June of 2014, so that's over 2 years ago now. And 2014 was the first year that I'd started doing videotaping of my work. One thing you might notice that's a little different here is that the board itself has got a smooth texture, and basically at that time I was just taking my I like to paint on it's an MDF board. It's laminated with a wood that's called kauri, which has a nice tight grain, and I like this type of board because I don't experience a lot of warping with this, whereas when I use boards that are like a 100% kauri ply, intense amount of warping even at small sizes sometimes. So this is much more stable, and I feel it's quite a stable medium to paint on. I've been working with this substrate for, well, over 2 years now. So, and I'm actually assuming that this is on that. It could possibly be pine, but I think it is on the laminated MDF. Anyway, it's pretty cool to be able to dig in and pull up videos of paintings I did 2 years ago. This is one of the reasons why I started investing in my time in doing the videotaping, and so far I've had very few regrets. I guess the only regret I could outline would be that processing the videos, looking after the videos, editing the videos, it all takes time that I probably would have used to spend making music, and I'm not doing that currently. I may be evaluating that after I get back from vacation. Now, the other thing I guess I should mention is that I am pre-recording these videos to be released while I'm on my trip. I will be actually doing a corresponding blog while I'm out traveling, but the videos and processing them and uploading them, I just thought that would be a real pain in the butt if it was even possible to do on my laptop computer that I'll be taking with me. So for that reason I thought, well, why not dig into the archives and get into some of these older paintings that I haven't featured on the blog yet, and share them with you guys. And you can see, as I was talking about in the 5x5 for this, my process is basically still pretty much the same. One thing it's well, right off the bat, one thing that's different, there's no texture on this board, and I'm actually evaluating backing off of that maybe in my next pass when I get back from my trip, the next batch of large paintings. I may just go back to the sanding sealer that's tinted with the burnt sienna and work on that smooth board again. I do enjoy having a bit of texture, though, as long as it's not too predominant. I can, you know how it is. It's just a thing. We'll see. I'm going to be evaluating that when I get back, and I will say that the latest batch of paintings that I've been working on that are on the textured boards, I'm really happy with the way these are coming out, and I've been, as I mentioned in previous videos, I've been going, and in a blog post, recent blog post, I've been going in with a heavier paint coat on my initial color pass, and that's been pretty cool too here. And as you can see here, I'm not laying down my paint super thin. I'm putting down a good layer of paint, but these days I'm trying to make an effort to make sure it's a bit even thicker than that, and the reason for that is because the oil paint will become more transparent over time, and I would like my paintings to look really fresh, 100 years from now, 200 years from now, assuming, there's humans, and that, or if there's robots, hopefully they'll be into art. Um, anyway, let's see, what can we talk about today? Well, we can talk about this painting. Now, this is actually a painting I did previously. I didn't do it as a 5x7 study, but probably back in 2011. This was one of a series of 4 that I did at the time, and it was the first time I'd worked in this small square format, and I had done those for a show that I had up at the Hangar Gallery in Camo here in New Zealand, and it was a painting that sold actually at that. That was the first show I was involved in, and I sold all those paintings, and it was definitely felt like it was the universe encouraging me to carry on with my new career as a landscape painter. And since that time, you know, there's been ups and there's been downs, but the painting itself is just getting better, and it's basically the most rewarding job I've ever had. I did enjoy in my previous jobs I had my interaction with people. I do get to interact with people out of my studio, and I have had students, and I do have friends that come around. But that's one thing about being a manager and scheduling work, and you know, dealing with other employees and people. You know, there's a whole other kettle of fish and a whole other set of challenges that's involved with that. That's not present in a solo occupation like landscape painting. That said, though, what I really love about landscape painting is that it's really a reflection of where I'm at as a person, and you know, as I was telling a friend of mine the other day, you know, or even maybe it was today, I was telling him that as far as activities you can engage in, art is very neutral. You know, nobody's going to get hurt by you creating artwork. In fact, all it really does is bring more beauty into the world, and that is a great thing. As you can see, I'm probably doing a little glazing right now in that painting, and I've never completely stopped doing glazing. In the last year, I've been getting really nuts with it and doing a lot of glazing with black, and I'm trying to back off of that because it has a real, you know, obviously quite a darkening effect on the paintings, but it's a neat effect, even though it does make things darker. One thing I was doing a lot of is going, that I probably never stopped doing, is going over my lightest areas with a bit of transparent earth yellow, and that has it's like a yellow ochre, but it's transparent instead of opaque, and it's a brilliant color for glazing. I really love it, and it's actually sort of the sister color to my other favorite color from Gamblin, which is transparent earth red, which is, you know, my favorite color, and it's really the foundation of almost everything I do. Anyway, so I did this painting, well, I did this scene originally back in 2011 and sold that, and I really liked it. One thing that I distinctly remember from my first incarnation of this scene was the road that was in it. I spent hours tweaking on and getting all these subtle, intricate textures, and I kind of said at that point, never again. Back then in 2011 also, I was sometimes using very small types of brushes, like your basic watercolor type brush, you know, in rounds or in very small sizes, and sables and things like that. I pretty much backed off of that a long time ago. Probably back in 2011 I backed off of that. And these days the smallest brush I'll use is be a 2 flat, and in my larger work I won't even use that. Actually, probably the smallest brush I'm using on the like the 1824 I was painting today would be a 6. So 6 up to 10. So I'm using a 6, 8, and a 10 these days in the larger paintings. And I'm not. The only place I'm using a number 2 these days is on my little studies, like my 5x7s and my 5x5s. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video, and we're going to keep them coming. So keep keep tuning in, and we will keep talking to you. If you enjoy my work, go to landscapepainter.co.nz. There's a lot of paintings there you can check out, and also link to my blog and other things like that. And I guess we'll see you next week. So meanwhile, take good care and stay out of trouble.